And now to that breaking news out of Brown County this morning, where a large fire is burning in downtown Pulaski. This is video from earlier this morning as crews battled the fire in the village's small downtown community. Officials say they received a call around 11 o'clock last night of a fire at the Wood Lanes bowling alley on West Pulaski Street. The fire spread to multiple nearby businesses, which also had some apartments in them. A total of 5 buildings are said to be affected by the fire, and 40 people have been displaced. 2 firefighters have been taken to the hospital with minor injuries, and 23 agencies from Brown County are on the scene. 8 of them are from outside of Brown County. We are going to go now live to Emily Deem. She has been on the scene for several hours. Emily, what can you tell us now?
Angela, well, it's daylight now, and we're kind of getting a little bit better look at the scene. You can take a look behind me, and you see firefighters on their ladder trucks still putting out the fire out here on West Pulaski Street. That is where the fire is. Wood Lanes is where it started. It spread to those buildings, like you said, Angela. 5 buildings involved in this. 2 firefighters have been taken to the hospital with injuries this morning. 40 people displaced. You can see the water is still coming in. Crews on the scene right now. 23 agencies are out here. Everyone from the surrounding communities are coming together to put this fire out, something that has actually devastated the community out here in Pulaski. I spoke with one of the owners at Wood Lanes, and that is what he said. He is devastated. Tell us a little bit more information. We have Lieutenant Nick Craig, who is here with me, the Public Information Officer this morning. What kind of update do you have for us right now?
Obviously 5 buildings involved here in this horrible fire. I just spoke with the chief not too long ago. He said they are making headway in that 4th building. Things are starting to turn around here. We're starting to get a handle on this situation. One thing to mention is that this Pulaski does have fire hydrants, and you just saw a picture of 2 big water tanks on the ground. They did switch operations from regular fire hydrant operations, which was taxing that water system too much, to this tender or tanker operation to put water on this fire.
Now, okay, tell us a little bit, because you can see those buildings. They're right next to each other. They're older buildings. So tell us about how that fire could have spread to those buildings.
Yeah, the close proximity is what's causing the biggest problems here, and why a total of 5 buildings were involved. It just jumped from one to the next very easily since they are so close together. There's a total of 12 buildings on this block, and all of them have been evacuated. A total of 40 people are now displaced because of this.
Now, we're talking injuries. 2 firefighters. Any information about their injuries?
All I can tell you is that 2 firefighters were taken to the hospital with injuries. I do not have an update on their status.
We're talking about the weather. It's cold out here in Pulaski. There's a lot of water coming through. Tell us about the conditions with that.
We're extremely close to freezing. We've got basically small ice rinks that are being created all over. With all the water we're using, with the weather conditions right now, it's very difficult for firefighters to move around.
Now, I was talking to one firefighter as I was walking, and he said, for the fire that it was and the buildings that it had affected, it could have been much worse. This was contained very well.
Right, with all the help here, we have 23 fire departments on scene trying to do their best to make sure this fire doesn't spread, and it looks like we're actually stopping it and preventing it from going to those other buildings.
American Red Cross is out here helping crews, assisting the families that were displaced. Tell us about that help.
Yeah, the Red Cross has been a huge help today. They're keeping us warm, providing food for us, and they're obviously providing shelter for those families that are being displaced today. So they're a huge help. Big thanks to them.
Lieutenant Nick Craig, how much longer? Is there a guesstimation that you have being here on scene?
My guesstimation would be several hours at least. We've still been seeing intermittent flames, but things are, slowly coming to a head here. So hopefully not too much longer, but several hours for sure.
Very active scene still, hours later. Thank you so much, Lieutenant Nick Craig, for joining us this morning. Angela, I spoke with Trink Little earlier today. If you see the building over there, she owned the one that is actually next door to Wood Lanes. She told me she moved here with her parents when she was about a year and a half. Her parents bought the building in 1958 and turned it into a restaurant. About 20 years later, Trink bought that building. She moved in there, lived there for a while, and then moved back in with her dad when her mother died. Trink's daughter, along with her grandsons, actually moved into the building. They were not staying there last night. They were at a friend's house, which she was thankful for. The two people living below were able to get out, but Trink told me she lost almost everything in that fire. You know, she's very devastated by it and knows she can move on, but here's her reaction earlier this morning.
Thank God my daughter and the boys aren't there. All their Christmas presents are up there. You know, I have my furniture is up there because I stay with my dad since my mom died, and half of my clothes are still there. The kids' babies' pictures. It's just hard. That building has been in our family since 1958. And now it's gone.
Yeah, that's what we saw this morning when we arrived on scene. People were just waiting and watching. You can see the group over here just watching, you know, fire crews put it out this morning. Some of these buildings over there are decades old, and, you know, to see a historical building like that go up in flames is something that's devastating to the community. But I know Trink, you know, she said she can move on from this. The community can come together and pull together for this, especially during the holidays. If we know any more information, Angela, we'll be sure to bring it to you. You can visit our website, fox11online.com. We have all of the information there too if you missed it, but for now we'll send it back to you.
Okay, Emily, I know we've been reporting that there are about 5 buildings affected. We know that it started in the bowling alley, and we heard from the woman who had family living in one building. Do we know what the other buildings are used for? Are they businesses? Are they apartment buildings?
Well, I know you see that white building right there. Oh, there is a fire truck here, but if you come kind of over here, you can see that white building. That was actually vacant, I'm being told. No one was there. The other buildings, I'm not quite sure yet. I know Wood Lanes, you know, it was the bar, everyone went there, and the building next door was just used for housing, but I'm not sure about the other buildings, but we do know that white one, no one was living there at the time.
All right, Emily Dean live in Pulaski. Thank you.